Hi, church. My name is Garrett Mills, and I want to tell you about a recent trip that I took to Beirut, Lebanon. I'm a structural engineer, and for the past 10 years or so, I've been a volunteer for an organization called Engineering Ministries International. So I was invited to be part of a team with two architects and one other structural engineer to travel to Beirut to assess damage to buildings that were affected by the explosion that happened at their port in August. I had seen the news about the blast and the explosion and the damage that it caused, but I really didn't know exactly what to expect. And our team deployed not knowing exactly the work that we would be doing. What we saw when we got there, right down at the blast site, were a lot of buildings that had been completely blown apart and demolished. The explosion was caused by about 3,000 tons of ammonium nitrate that had been seized off of a cargo ship several years ago and had been left in this warehouse and essentially forgotten until the warehouse caught on fire and the material exploded. Our work focused on buildings that were kind of just outside that first half-mile radius, so about 1 to 2 miles away. We set out in the first couple days to assess those buildings that included churches and schools, medical clinic, a shop, and some apartment buildings. The first day that we set out, I was praying that we didn't see any real significant structural damage in the buildings that we saw, and that ended up being the case. That what we saw were a lot of blown out windows and doors, a lot of significant cracks in masonry walls, but really no damage to the main structural frames of the building or the structural integrity of the building. So we were able to tell the occupants that what they looked at and saw as maybe a big concern, we actually weren't that concerned about, and where they thought they might have to move out, we were telling them that they could stay. That in some cases they could repair the damage themselves. There are two main things that I want to share about the trip. The first is how rewarding it was, that as interesting as I thought it would be to see a lot of structural damage, that it was rewarding to be able to be the voice of reassurance and calm to people that were worried about their buildings, they were worried about where they were sleeping and whether or not their building was safe. And from what we saw, we were able to tell them that they were safe where they were. And the second thing I want to share was just how grateful I am that I got to go. The burden was really on Andrea, and I was so grateful for her to say yes to me going. She was 35 weeks pregnant when I left, and despite our fears about me going and the extra burden it would be on her and the fears of COVID, I was just so grateful that I was able to go. But now I'm home and COVID free, and we're expecting baby to come very soon. But I'm just really grateful that I feel like I have this calling, and that I've found this ministry where I get to partner with missions organizations around the world, where I get to marry my desire and passion for helping to alleviate suffering in the world with this knowledge and experience and technical skills that I've gained as an engineer. I'm grateful for you, that I get to share this with you, and for all your prayers.